The New York Rangers ended up taking on the Utah Hockey Club in their home opener of the 2024-2025 NHL regular season, and this game was wild. Start to finish, for the most part, this game was pretty wild. It was entertaining and ended up being just a pretty crazy game to watch overall, especially in that second period there. We saw a lot of goals scored. We saw multiple fights. We saw some big stops. We saw, a goal get reviewed there. I mean, this game had it all. There was so much stuff going on in this one. So we're going to break it down. I'll be recapping this game, kind of talking about what happened in this one here, the good, the bad, all that stuff surrounding the Rangers taking on the Utah Hockey Club in their second game of the 2024-2025 NHL season. So let's get right into it here. Starting off with the goaltenders in this game, we ended up seeing Igor Shesterkin for the New York Rangers take on Connor Ingram of the Utah Hockey Club. But now let's take a look at the lines that we saw in this game. For the most part, we saw Kreider, Zibanejad, and Riley Smith, then Panarin, Trocheck, Lafreniere, Will Cooley, Hedel, and Kakko. That top nine stayed the exact same. And this is where we saw the one change in the entire lineup from game one there. Edstrom, Carrick, same thing. But then we saw Matt Rempe come in for Johnny Brodzinski on that fourth line right wing spot. That was the only change that we did see in this entire lineup. We saw the forwards, other than that, stay the exact same, as well as the defensemen stay the same as we saw Miller, Fox, Schneider, Trouba, and Jones and Mancini. And then for the goaltender, obviously, was Igor Shesterkin, with the backup being Jonathan Quicks. But now let's finally get on to the actual recap of this game, where we ended up seeing 3 minutes and 43 seconds into the first period, Clayton Keller ends up making a nice pass over to Barrett Hayton, who's open, skating towards the net, and he beats Igor Shesterkin to make things 1-0 Utah pretty early on in this game. Then about 5 minutes after that first goal was scored, we end up seeing Alexis Lafreniere as he enters the offensive zone with Artemi Panarin trailing behind him. He ends up making a nice draw pass. Panarin picks it up, uses the Utah defenseman as a screen, and ends up beating Connor Ingram to tie this game up at 1. Then, a little later on in that period, we end up seeing Logan Cooley make a nice pass over to Dylan Guenther as he's kind of going towards the net there. And Igor dives out there a little bit there, kind of poke checking the puck away there to prevent a goal. Nice smart play there by Igor to keep things tied up at 1. Then going on now into the second period, this is where things really kind of got crazy in this period. We end up seeing, first off, a pass in front gets deflected up by Vincent Trocheck, and eventually the puck gets smacked in by Jack McBain about 2 minutes into the second to make it 2-1 Utah, and that was assisted by Vladislav Kolyachonok and Logan Cooley. And then right after that goal was scored, we end up seeing Kevin Stenlund get a 2-minute penalty for goalie interference after he collided with Igor. And on that power play, we end up seeing Artemi Panarin score once again, his second goal of the game here, as the puck gets passed around the offensive zone from Fox to Trocheck there, then to Panarin, and Panarin snipes one past Connor Ingram to tie this game up at 2. And now we see Victor Mancini, the Rangers rookie. He ends up shooting from the point. The puck ends up going in. He scores with Matt Rempe in front there screening the goaltender Connor Ingram. But unfortunately, the refs call it back and say no goal, as they call it goaltender interference from what Matt Rempe did, impeding Connor Ingram apparently to south the puck. So that gets called back there. The Rangers do review it, but unfortunately, it was not a success there. So the Rangers get a penalty for failing their review, and that gives the Utah Hockey Club a power play. But on that power play, Connor Ingram, their goaltender, pretty much right away gets a 2-minute penalty for holding. So that, ties things up there, makes things 4-on-4 for both sides. And then on that 4-on-4, though, we do see Keandre Miller, unfortunately, behind the net. He turns it over as Alex Kerfoot was right on him. Kerfoot gets the puck there, passes out in front to Clayton Keller, and Keller buries a pretty easy one there to make things 3-2 as Kerfoot makes a pretty nice pass through Jimmy Vesey, I believe it was, to Clayton Keller, who pretty much buries a very, very easy one. And that made things 3-2 there. So gives the Utah Hockey Club a lead once again, unfortunately. And then we see 11 minutes and 22 seconds left in the second period. Kevin Stenlund ends up shooting short side on Igor. He ends up beating him. He just scored to make things 4-2 Utah. And that was definitely one that Igor probably would like to have back there. Probably should have stopped that one, but unfortunately that one goes in there. And I believe it was on Kevin Stenlund's follow through on that shot as well. It ends up hitting Braden Schneider in the face there, but he ended up being all right. But still an unfortunate one and definitely not at all what you want to see. Right away after that goal was scored, we end up seeing the Rangers respond as Keandre Miller looks to dump the puck in from the neutral zone. And as Connor Ingram's going behind the net there to play the puck actually bounces off the glass and goes right into the net there with Connor Ingram behind the net going to play the puck as he expected the puck to obviously go around, the boards there around the glass and go behind the net. It did not. It bounces out there, and Keandre Miller and the Rangers get a very lucky bounce there, and that makes it a 1-goal hockey game, 4-3 for Utah. Then we see after the next whistle, after that goal was scored, we see a couple fights break out here as Adam Edstrom ends up fighting Jack McBain, and Edstrom ended up landing a couple bombs there, a couple of really big punches. He definitely won that one, so that was great to see from Adam Edstrom, the absolute monster out there on the ice. But 6'8", he's very tall, can be left wing, center, and right wing. Definitely can be a very valuable player for this Rangers bottom six. And then we have here another fight as well, right at the same time as we saw Sam Carrick fight Michael Kesselring. Not as good of a fight there, but still a pretty good one, and he obviously ended up doing a pretty good job as well. So 2 nice fights there for the Rangers, and you could probably say 2 wins as well. Then, though, not too long after those fights happened, we end up seeing on a battle for the puck as Will Cooley was kind of skating towards the puck. Connor Ingram comes out a bit there alongside Sergachev, and Will Cooley kind of hit Sergachev, but then ended up kind of colliding a bit with goaltender Connor Ingram. And I kind of disagree with this call there, but the refs unfortunately call it goaltender interference there, so Will Cooley ends up going to the box. But I really disagree with the call there. Will Cooley, hit Sergachev. You can clearly tell. And apparently the refs said it was basically called a penalty because Cooley kind of didn't really try to get out of the way, but I would disagree with that because the hit literally happened right there with Cooley and Sergachev kind of colliding there. Don't really think that was true, but either way, that gets called a penalty there. A power play for Utah, and 51 seconds left on that PK. The Rangers take another penalty as Keandre Miller gets a 2-minute penalty for high sticking, and as one of those penalties that expire there, that first one with the 5-on-4, we end up seeing Dylan Guenther score to make things 5-3 Utah. Dylan Guenther has just been an absolute monster to begin this season, so that was great for Utah, but not great for the Rangers as that makes things 5-3 for them. And now with just 2 minutes and 1 second left in the second period, Braden Schneider makes an absolutely phenomenal play happen as he ends up getting the puck in the offensive zone, skates down a bit there, cuts in a slight bit in the middle towards the net there, and ends up ripping one past Connor Ingram. A nice shot there, a nice little move by him, and that makes things 5-4 to cut the lead down to 1 for the Rangers once again in this one as Jacob Trouba and Will Cooley did get the assist, but a great play by Braden Schneider offensively. You don't see him make a ton of great plays offensively, but he definitely can have a moment here and there when he shines offensively and makes a great play happen like that. And now going on into the third period, we end up seeing pretty early on, Ian Cole ends up taking a 2-minute penalty for hooking. The Rangers get a power play, but unfortunately do not score. And we ended up seeing a little after that penalty happened, Keandre Miller had a wide open net there, but somehow just missed it, which was definitely a really unfortunate play there. Had a wide open net, didn't have the best kind of shot on it, but obviously he really needs to bury that there. Had an open net, but just could not get the job done. And as the New York Rangers' third line continues to impress, they end up tying the game up here at 5 alongside Adam Fox here with just 7 minutes and 4 seconds left in the third. Capo Caco ends up making a great pass from behind the net out in front to Will Cooley. He ends up shooting it. It unfortunately gets stopped. The rebound comes out. It's kind of bouncing around for a second. Adam Fox comes in, swipes at it. The puck goes off Will Cooley and into the back of the net to tie things up at 5 there. So a bit of luck there, but obviously a nice goal there for the Rangers to tie the game up at 5 after getting some, decent chances as well. So this was a great goal. And obviously we have seen Will Cooley and Capo Caco really impress so far throughout these first 2 games of this season so far, which is exactly what you want to see out of 2 very young, very talented wingers. And now going on all the way to overtime, we end up seeing Igor Shesterkin with about 2 minutes left in overtime slide across his crease to rob Josh Doan, Shane Doan's son, of a possible game-winning goal opportunity. And then about a minute and 5 seconds later, we end up seeing the Utah Hockey Club win the game as Clayton Keller is just able to walk right in on Igor Shesterkin all alone, pretty much wide open. He tucks one past Igor using his backhand, and Keandre Miller and Mika Zibanejad seemed like they were looking for a breather possibly, as they just kind of sat there and let him walk right in on Igor. And unfortunately, that ends up being the game-winning goal there. Really poor defensive play by Zibanejad and Keandre Miller. Throughout this entire game, there were a ton of horrible defensive mistakes, a lot more than what we saw in game one there against the Penguins, where we ended up seeing the Rangers get a shutout and allowed 0 goals. And yes, Igor did play better in game one, but that doesn't negate the fact that this team just made so many bad defensive mistakes. They took a few really stupid and poor penalties, but also did, you could say obviously have some unfortunate, things go against them penalty wise, call wise and stuff like that. So overall, it is what it is. Some unlucky bounces didn't go the Rangers' way in this one. You could say some bounces went for them, like that Keandre Miller goal. So it went both ways a bit there. Did it go a little more against the Rangers than Utah? You could say maybe. I don't care. But either way, it is what it is. It's a loss to the Rangers. Utah gets their 3rd win in a row there. They are 3-0. They're looking like a great team there. Definitely looking a lot better than what we've seen in the past from that former organization. So good for Utah there. They're obviously in their first year as a club, and good for them. Obviously, hopefully we'll see a pretty cool name announced in the future. But obviously, it's a win for Utah, and unfortunately, it is a loss for the Rangers in overtime, so at least we did get 1 point there, but unfortunately, the Rangers did not get the win, did not get both points, as they really could have and should have in this game, but they just had too many poor defensive mistakes there. Keandre Miller, I thought, really had a poor game there. Trouba didn't play as good as he did in game one there, and overall defensively, this team just was not great. And, in overtime there as well, Zibanejad was also there and could have made a play on that puck as well. Did not let Clayton Keller just kind of skate in there, so it is what it is. You could say Keandre Miller kind of had that guy backdoor. Maybe Zibanejad should have been on that guy right there. Clayton Keller kind of skating in there. So either way, you could blame Zibanejad, you could blame Miller for that game-winning goal there. But either way, the Rangers lose and, Utah wins. And this game could have been won, but unfortunately, it is not due to some mistakes by this team and some other just unfortunate things. But either way, there was some good, stuff in this game. I mean, I thought that third line once again played really good in this game there. The Will Cooley, obviously Philip Hedl and Capo Caco. We ended up seeing Will Cooley get a goal and an assist in this game. He was a +3, had 3 shots. He had 5 hits. He is a really great player, I think. He ended up playing 12 minutes and 12 seconds. Getting 2 points there, goal and an assist is great in that amount of time. 5 hits. He gets things done in a little amount of time there. He's not getting that, true kind of top 6 amount of ice time, but he's getting the job done there on that third line. And I've kind of been talking about for a while now, I do think there's another level to his offensive game than what we saw last season, where he couldn't even crack 30 points as a kind of, third line, bit of fourth line winger, but mostly kind of third line winger. He couldn't crack 30 points there, but I do think this year we're going to see him definitely pass 30 points, possibly even past 40 points potentially, if he can have a really great year on that third line alongside a guy in Capo Caco, who'll be looking to have a big bounce back year, and will also looking to pass that 40-point mark once again, like he's done in his career in the past. And obviously a guy like Philip Hedl there is definitely a guy who can be that, 40, 50, maybe 60-point caliber guy on the third line there. How much going to get done there? We'll have to wait and see. But either way, he's a very talented guy. So that third line can be very impactful and very great for this Rangers team. And once again in this game here against Utah, they got the job done. They played really well. I mean, Capo Caco, he got an assist in this game there. Philip Hedl obviously didn't get any points in this one, but I thought he still played good. But Capo Caco, he looked great in this one, and Will Cooley obviously looked great as well. So third line has been looking fantastic, and overall, this team is playing some all right hockey, but defensively definitely need to step things up from what we saw in this game against the Utah Hockey Club. Anyways, though, if you have enjoyed this video, definitely click that like and subscribe button for a ton more New York Rangers content. If you are a New York Rangers fan, there's no better place to be on YouTube than this channel. So definitely hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel a ton. I would really appreciate it. As well as, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on this unfortunate overtime loss to Utah, where the Rangers could have possibly won, but unfortunately did not. Let me know your thoughts there. How do you think Igor played in this one? They're obviously allowing 5 goals, but how do you think he really played with the goals that he actually allowed? How do you think that third line played there? I thought they played pretty great, the top 6. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.